Thank you very much. Thanks for coming in. Okie doke. We've now got Annabelle here on behalf of Central City Business Association, who will present an open letter and petition regarding requests for more food truck licences. Still morning? Yep.
Good morning, Mayor Phil, councillors and the Chief Executive. Thank you for giving me the floor. Today I speak on behalf of the Central City Business Association, which proudly represents 1,123 businesses that are at the heart of our Central City. Our Executive Board unanimously agreed on one thing. If the Arts Centre moves forward with its plans, as reported in the press, to allow 33 food trucks to operate on their site for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, we call for all long-term funding to the Arts Centre's Trust to be halted. And we're not alone in this. Hospitality New Zealand, which represents 318 members, stand with us. And there's an apology from Jeremy today because he couldn't be here. Let me be clear, we're not here to kill anyone's buzz for a food truck at a weekend event. But this isn't a food festival. This is a permanent encroachment on the livelihood of businesses that have invested their blood, sweat and dollars in this city. And it sends a really dangerous message. Why pour your heart into a permanent business when you can pop up a caravan and cash in? Let's talk about fairness. Our members are already paying for the Arts Centre through their rates. We're subsidising them to the tune of $5.5 million over the next 10 years. It's kind of like asking a boxer to fight with one hand tied behind their back and then, for good measure, slap them in the face by a rolling fleet of food trucks that don't have to deal with the same financial constraints. Why invest in bricks and mortar if you can just grab some wheels and a parking permit? And while we're at it, let's not forget what the Arts Centre stands for. It's not drive-through takeaways. It's a cultural hub that reflects the history and the heart of Christchurch. Turning it into a food truck depot makes as much sense as hosting a rock concert in Tauranga. Some of our Central City businesses have just come through one of the harshest winters in recent memory. They're still recovering, and this really feels like a kick in the guts. This plan undermines the future of Christchurch as a place of permanence, stability, and investment. We're building a city, not a pop-up carnival. So today, we are asking you to take leadership. Christchurch deserves a level playing field. We cannot and we will not stand by while the business in the city's backbone are undermined.
Rightio. We've got some questions. Tyler, Tim and then Vic.
Hi, Rich Peebles. Hi, everyone. I've been brought in a bit of a pinch hitter, so not really prepared.
Oh, sorry,
Just, in regards to what Annabelle said, I'm a big supporter of the Arts Centre. Love to see it successful, enjoy the weekend markets, but I too have the concerns about the number of food trucks and this permanent nature of them. We always assumed that food trucks were a temporary activity until the CBD was rebuilt. I've got a question about if you allow that. Is this best for the CBD? It may be best for the Arts Centre, but I'm not sure it's best for all of Christchurch, and that's just a question everyone needs to ask. It certainly undermines investment in the CBD. A lot of the existing businesses, the cost, the rates burden is quite high and getting higher by the year. If we knew that we could have mobile food trucks and mobile retail shops on the sites in the CBD, I wonder if we would have built in the first place. I didn't understand that it was actually an option. So we've got several sites in the city that we're looking at the moment, and you know, if it is an option to get 30 retail caravans down there rather than actually go through the resource and building consent process, that's probably an option. And it's a lot cheaper for the operators without the rates burden, and also the burdens with regards to consenting, the food compliance, the extraction, the trade waste, the grease traps. You know, it's a hellishly cheaper model, and if that's what we want, and look, I don't even know if it is a permitted activity in the CBD, but if the Arts Centre can get 33, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week food trucks, I've got a few sites I'd like to put a few mobile shops on. Anyway, the question I think everyone needs to ask themselves is, and I don't know what you can actually do about it. I don't know what the rules actually say in the district plan, but the question is what's best for the city. Mm-hmm. It's not just the Arts Centre, and as I said, I'm a big supporter of heritage and the Arts Centre, but what is best for the city, and allowing a full permanent 33 trucks, that's a massive offering. You know, when you think about it, it's bigger than the terrace combined. So we have to think seriously about what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Very clear. Tyler, please.
Kia ora, Annabelle, Richard and Paul. Good to see us. Excuse me. I've got a question and wondering if there is any middle ground that you're welcoming in terms of length of stay, how many days that the caravans may want to prop up in the Arts Centre.
Well, there is for me. I mean, I think the weekend market and food trucks was always there, and I don't think, and you know, special events even you can have more trucks, but you know, 33 food trucks. You know, a creative market. It's a great idea, isn't it? That's what we want, and there needs to be food offerings. So, weekend markets, big supporter. Animal?
Yeah, I tend to agree with Richard, but probably not 33, because like he said, like that's more than that's in the terrace.
Tim?
Yeah, thank you. I think like Wanaka has about like 11 in theirs, and traditionally they've always had food trucks, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't 33. Have you talked to them? Have you approached them, Annabelle, or any, to say, you know?
This was a quick piece. I was away until last week, so I got quite a few angry messages from a number of our businesses. Yep. So I had to obviously react to our members.
Understandably,
and that's why we're here today.
Yeah. And I guess for us, as we have a close relationship now with the Arts Centre, did we have a heads up at all that this was in the wings? If we could find that out from staff at some stage. We don't, not now, but I mean at some stage. Thank you.
Victoria, and then Andre.
I'm okay, thank you. Tyler's asked the question.
Judy? Andre?
Yeah, it was a very similar question as well. But they've got food trucks there every day of the week currently. I'm not sure if you know how many. I don't. Maybe 5, maybe 6, something along those lines.
Not 33.
No, but there's maybe 5 or 6 currently. But if they were, a similar question, if they were looking to expand that to say 10 or 15, do you think you'd still be here today?
Well, we'd have to get feedback from our members.
Sure.
Cause,
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I question the permanence. You know, I always thought food trucks were a temporary thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I would just question.
Yeah.
You know, a weekend market, that's not permanent. But if you're talking 7 days a week, permanent, 10 food trucks, it's a different question.
Understood.
Yep.
and at the end of the day, the Arts Centre is like the historic hub of the city. So we actually don't want to turn it into drive-through takeaways.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. We've got 2 more we get going. Jake, then Sam.
Do you guys have an understanding of what the capacity difference may be between, say, a restaurant or a set-up permanent space versus the truck? Yeah, because I think 33, and I think, well, geez, that's, as you say, bigger than Riverside or bigger than Little High. And then I think, well, but they must surely be serving a lot less food through the truck. So I just want to get an understanding of the scale.
Well, as we've learned at Riverside and probably Little High, the size of the kitchen doesn't really matter. It's how efficient that kitchen is. So just say Little High is 8 offerings.
Right.
So, you're talking 33, and you know how many seats and how many people go to Little High. With 2,000 people a day, you can, out of a food truck, if you're efficient, you can serve a lot of people. But you know, it's the permanent nature, Jake, rather than how successful they are, I guess, is the issue. And it's the unfair playing field versus, and the undermining of the investment.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Sam?
Yeah, hey, thank you for coming in, and I must admit it was a bit of a shock to me to read somehow the Arts Centre. I don't know how publicly they made it known that they were doing that, but it's not the first time. In terms of the petition that you've put in there, looking through the names, it looks, am I right in saying 5% are tenants?
The majority are tenants.
Yeah, there's only a couple of names I sort of recognise on there. Can you just talk about the impact this would have on them and you know, maybe Richard, even from Riverside, for example, you know, the challenges that businesses still have. I mean, the economy's still in a pretty bad space.
Like a lot of people have put their life on the line to actually benefit the city. You know, people, they've remortgaged their houses, taken out big loans. So they are putting their best foot forward to make the city a better place. And so some of them who've come to me were just absolutely gutted when they heard that, because obviously interest rates are not particularly low, rates are not particularly low, cost of business is at an all-time high.
Sam, a lot of our tenants came from food trucks originally, or from the container mall, you know, and it, you know, they came in and they've invested in, you know, into a store, into a shop front, and spent the money, got the consenting, and it's a hell of a lot more expensive to have a bricks and mortar store than it is to have a truck. You know, and there's probably some of them will go, well, I'd prefer to have a food truck rather, but we could ask ourselves, what do we want as a city? Do we want to encourage that type of activity in new developments? Because it's a lot easier, and if that's permitted activity, yes, people will do it, and it won't just be food trucks. It'll be retail shops.
It
Could be
changes the
offices.
fabric of the city.
Where's the limit? I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's certainly not fair on the people who have invested a shed load of money being building owners and the businesses in them. So I totally understand, see where you're coming from. And lastly, Kelly.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for raising this. I guess my thoughts are around why the Arts Centre has done this. I would assume that they have a lack of funding and are looking to I guess, improve that situation. And I guess I applaud the fact that they're thinking, even though it's perhaps not exactly what you want. Other than paying rates, do your members have any relationship that could, with the Arts Centre, that maybe you could work together on some projects? Is there any thoughts around that?
We would welcome working together with the Arts Centre.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you should. I think that'd be great, because they're obviously needing the type of help that you have, the skills that you have.
And being that we're about 15 minutes over, Sarah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you so much for coming in. Good on you. Okie doke. So